Oh, wow. Okay, the underlying energy here is the Page of Swords. So for a lot of Victorians here, this is a very interesting reading here. Wow. What's underneath here? The King of Swords. Y'all ain't playing. I don't know if y'all hooked up with an air sign or not. An Aries, Leo. Sorry, excuse me. Gemini? There we go. That was a Gemini. What the fuck? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You guys could be in a relationship with someone like that, or or you could be in a relationship with an air sign, or it could be that you guys are just feeling very serious about you or in your freedom. Wow, like nobody's gonna mess around with you in your freedom, all right? And honestly, it looks like you want some sort of excitement here, something to kind of get the engines running. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just been kind of at a slow, kind of steady pace for a while, and now you kind of want some you want a kickback or something. You want something to spice some stuff up. Why else would you want the Five of Wands as your desired outcome? Perhaps you just kind of want to settle all the indifferences. Could be that too, right? Could be that you guys are tired of dealing with people that are just argumentative. You just want to cut it, right? But the Five of Wands could also indicate that there is an internal turmoil that may be coming up, and you just kind of are tired of it. You know, it could be that you're tired of the internal turmoil that keeps coming up. The Five of Swords, the Page of Swords, excuse me, in the underlying energy indicates that there is this need for truth to come out, or this some sort of communication, some sort of message, some sort of blunt truth from a King of Swords. It could have been there was a King of Swords in the past, and then there's the message, right? That brutal message. The messages can kind of cut to the very core, and it's very hurtful. It can be, because it's a kid with a sword, right? You can't trust the kid with a sword. They will just, they'll be honest with how they're playing with it. They'll be genuine. They will really think that they're using that sword, and they may end up cut somebody. Now, with that said, that definitely led to some sort of truth here, some sort of Ace of Swords situation where there is this recognition, or there's not recognition, but there's more of this. There's a new beginning, a new perspective, a new way of thinking. And I feel like this new way of thinking is contradicting or like conflicting with a lot of the stuff that you normally do in your life. Like this new way of thinking, this new way of, of handling things, new mindset. This is like a new thing. This is like a new vision of what you guys are experiencing right now. And it is like in conflict with a lot of the other stuff that you've got going on. Whether this is, family, friends, work, this truth is affecting everything. And I know this is a love reading, but I really feel like this energy is like conflicting with everything. It's conflicting with everything. Even especially the relationship, obviously, right? I think this new truth is affecting the relationship. And I feel like the only reason why this conflict isn't dissipated yet is because of the Queen of Swords. Putting it into action. Or maybe there's this Queen of Swords here it's very interesting. The reason why the Queen of Swords is coming up is because of the Ace of Cups, because of a new beginning. A new beginning in love. I don't understand how the Queen of Swords is keeping you from being able to solve these issues or solve these conflicts. Let me go ahead and pull a clarifier, okay? Because this is deep. Why is the Queen of Swords here? What is the Queen of Swords doing here? The Seven of Pentacles. You have Seven of Pentacles in your hopes and fears. Maybe there's something that you've been waiting on for some time regarding this Queen of Swords. Or maybe there's somebody that's just... Because the Queen of Swords, she's very straight up, upfront. She communicates very well. Like, she will not... Like, there's nothing that you will not know, in regards to the Queen of Swords. She will tell you straight up. There's no confusion regarding her. Now, the thing here is, right, you have a new truth, a new perspective, and you have conflicts. Maybe it's the fact that it's laying down the law that is what's coming up, right? And you've been patient, you've been waiting. Perhaps you've been waiting on this Queen of Swords to accept some sort of offer, but I don't think that's the case. I feel like really this is about communicating with your partner, right? Communicating with your partner, your new truths, your new way of thinking, right? Your new law, right? And I feel like I think that's what's coming up. Perhaps you're dealing with a Libra or something, but I feel like you guys have come such a long way with this relationship and put in so much work and effort that it's almost like you don't know if you really want to communicate with your partner about this. It's very interesting because you just started something new. But at the same time, I feel like the communication aspect, it's harder to communicate with people that you love, people that are closer to you versus people at work, people that are kind of obsolete, you know. They're not really, you know, their friends, family. That's hard when they kind of start crossing over those boundaries. Okay. And I feel like the thing is, it's like there's a lot of conflict around you, but I think the way it can separate it, or I think the way it can calm down and settle is by communication, is by communicating that. It's talking about the new truth. Because here in your best path to follow, you have the sun. It talks about exposure. So it talks about seeing all things, clarity. So it's clarifying in a way, saying like, hey, you have the ability to clarify now. You have the ability to see everything that you need to see and express everything you want to express, because you can, you know, you have clarity in yourself and clarity within your environment. Okay, you can honestly be open to that. And it looks like the situation saying like, okay, there's something new that's starting here. It's time to be very serious and stern about what you will and will not tolerate, right? Based off of everything that you've been through in the past, where you've been patient and you've been compromising and you've been open, and it's just, it hasn't really solidified or gotten to a place where you were happy with it. Like, you've always put in a hell of a lot more work than you actually saw the results come out of it. So it's like, you really want to make sure that whatever you're invested your time into, people respect your time and respect your word, respect your truth, right? And your boundaries. And I feel like the sun is talking about communicating that, or even more so making it very clear for everyone else, or utilizing the clarity, right? And one of the things too, I feel like with the Queen of Swords is that she doesn't talk a lot, right? She's a talker, but she doesn't talk a lot. She doesn't yap all the time. She's very observant. She watches people, I feel. And I feel like, I mean, the Queen of Pentacles would be more the person that would look at the details and pay very attention to differences and things like that. Pay attention to their environment. But I really feel like right now it's saying to, look at the situation and allow things to unfold itself. Because right now you have the Knight of Wands, so you're having a lot more fun. I feel like you're going off and doing whatever you want to do when you want to do it. There's no restraints or no time restraints. You're just doing what you want to do at the end of the day. Like, it's fun. You're going by what your heart's desire is in that moment, and it's perfect. I do like that. But then you have your hopes and fears being the Seven of Pentacles. Now, it could be that you've been working your behind off so often that you don't want to do this again. You don't want to be in a state of patience or waiting all the time. Like, where you're kind of going and going and going and going and working and working and working, and you haven't seen the results that you've been working, that you've been trying to gain. Now, this is talking about here that there's a little bit, right? You see the pentacles are there, but not they're not enough to harvest. Like, as you see in this image here, she's looking at the little fruit and she's like, man, it's not done yet. This bush has been here forever. How many times am I going to have to come over here and look? Because she's ready to harvest, but the thing is, like, I'm not ready yet. I am not ready. So the situation here could be indicating that, there's something that you've been waiting on for some time, and you're not interested in doing that again. You're not interested in putting your heart and time, your hard work and time into something that won't really show itself in a very reasonable amount of time. Hopefully that makes sense, y'all. But at the same time, I feel like with the Knight of Wands, you guys are just kind of living your life, having more fun, being more open. But at the same time, I feel like, whereas the communication aspect of it is over here, right? The blockage. You have a lot of conflicts here. Starting a new love, and you're having a lot of fun potentially. You have a very Knight of Wands kind of energy. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius. You could be connected with Sagittarius. But ultimately, this is talking about unreliability. Right? It talks about unreliability. It talks about having fun. It talks about not being very serious in a situation. You're not taking things very seriously. And I feel like that could be the thing too, Taurus. And this is completely weird for me even to say, because you guys take a lot of stuff seriously. You guys are very sarcastic and fun to some degree, but you guys know when to be serious. And I feel like right now the situation is like you got a lot of stuff going out of control because you are not in a very serious place. And that's why the communication needs to come out, because now people are wasting your time or something like that. And it's because you're probably not communicating or being very stern. You're just kind of going with, okay, well, I don't care right now. This is me. Perhaps there's something that you may need to communicate. Perhaps there's something you may need to communicate regarding, your love life, regarding your partner. Or maybe this is the vice versa. Somebody else could be just trying, someone else could be, not taking the situation seriously, because you do come up as the King of Swords. Maybe there was just a period of time where where you were more serious, and, or there was a period of time where they were more serious, and now they're not taking anything seriously. So it's like, what are you going to do about it? Well, you got to state your new boundaries, right? This is new love. If you want someone that's more serious in your life, they got to be, they got to show that. They got to show that they're serious. It could be like that. Somebody's just in here that's like wasting your time in a way, because they just don't want to they don't want to be serious. You could be feeling like this person is not taking anything seriously. Now, in this outcome here, you have the Five of Swords. So yeah, the Five of Swords can be very brutal energy, but it does talk about selfishness, right? And compromise and sacrifice. This could be something that you may need to sacrifice, whether this is standing by your ground and just sticking with what sticking with what you want, and that's it. There's a sacrifice in that, and then there's a sacrifice in compromising. Like, it's something that, there's something that's going to come up here where the Five of Swords can potentially come up, and this does indicate an empty victory, right? Like, it was necessary, but was it really, it may feel like it may not feel very emotionally satisfying. That's probably where I was saying earlier, where there's some sort of communication with friends or family, or most importantly, your partner, right? And you don't want to have to come down on them so seriously like you do everybody else. It could be that. Or this person needs to just listen. Like you probably have to be serious with your partner now, who you've now started to feel is very unreliable. It's just not up to par. Like, they're fun and everything, that's great, but I don't think they kind of get it. They're not being very serious. All right, y'all. Love endures. Wow. And it says, love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. And if you need to like talk to these people because they're wasting your time, or talk to somebody that's wasting your time, or even so that you feel this person's unreliable, like it says, love endures. It will go through the difficult times. It will go through Five of Wands and the Five of Swords, right? Five of Wands is temporary, intense change. It doesn't last forever. But if you need to have this conflict because somebody's just not getting it, then it just needs to happen. Chaos chaos and conflict. That's change. Things gotta get a little crazy before it gets peaceful, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at what the Romance Angels cards say. Trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. That makes sense. Because the Seven of Pentacles can indicate too that there is you've been putting a lot of hard work in, you've been waiting patiently, but you don't know, you're kind of gotten to a peak where you're tired of waiting. You're tired of kind of doing that whole, the whole working thing, because you haven't seen it come out. You haven't seen it flourish. There may be just a need to trust that it will come, to know that you can manifest whatever you're trying to manifest. There may be some work that needs to be done some more, of course, but trust that it will happen as you continuously focus on the work that needs to be done. Being in the moment with your work, being in the moment with your relationship, and just, tackling every situation that comes up, tackling every difficult time of, change in your relationship that comes up. Because I'm not seeing a breakup here. I am seeing that there is this is just a need to talk about something. They need to talk about how one feels about the situation, how one feels like there's someone that's not taking situations very seriously in a relationship, right? Maybe this is your partner who's not taking it very seriously. It's a new love. It's great, but this is, you're trying to build something solid potentially. You want to be able to see that flourish and not be constantly thinking, okay, there's a lot more work I got to do. It's like your focus is off too, in a sense, right? It's got to be focusing on what it can do in the moment rather than where it can lead and how long it's going to take. Because it's not focusing on the relationship. It's focusing on what can happen. You know what I mean? And I feel like this person potentially is not very safe. Has an issue with being serious or committing or something. And it could be, again, like I was saying, it could be you guys. It could be that you guys are not very serious at the moment. You guys are not taking things very seriously right now. And perhaps it's because you did need the fun. It's because you did need the purge out and do something. But now you're kind of dealing with things that are kind of a mess. And I don't know if you want this. I don't know if you want this kind of conflict in your life. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like communication is the key right now. Talking it out, communicating, and being very stern. Because Queen of Swords, she don't play. She don't like how something's going. She will let you know. No, there's no hesitation. And you got to be okay with talking to people that you love in a very stern manner. You do love them, no doubt. But if this is serious for you, so you got to put that. The love stuff is there. Tough love exists for a reason. And sometimes perhaps this is the situation that is needed for this.